let's just jump right into no throw November. That's right. We're gonna give you the top 3 baits not to throw in November. Maybe we'll give you the options that I would throw in November, because November is a great month to go fishing. Everybody is hunting. I love to hunt. Maybe you like to hunt, but I'm telling you, if you don't go fishing in November, you might be missing it. September, a lot of areas can be kind of tough, can be difficult. Then in October, sometimes it starts to get better, sometimes it still sucks. And then you go to November, and it can be really good in some areas. But one of the first baits I'm gonna not throw is a green pumpkin or a bluegill colored chatterbait. Now there might be some areas where it still plays a little bit, but I'm gonna go away from the bluegill colored shallow baits, because I feel like that once it really starts to cool off, those bluegill get out of the shallows. They, by and large, if you go around the bank, most areas, middle of the country, you're not gonna see those bluegills up there swimming around like they do all summer long. So that's why I'm gonna go away from the bluegill colored chatterbaits. I will still throw that chatterbait, especially in a little bit stained water, but that's right, it's gonna be a white or a baitfish colored chatterbait. I'm gonna definitely go to the baitfish colors. My first choice in November. As it gets going in the fall, those shad colors, the white colors, spunk shad on the back, that frosted purple, that combination, really, I want that white to stand out. I want it to be bright. That's why I'm going with the white colored chatterbaits, not the bluegill, in no throw November. That's number 1. Number 2, we're gonna go with tiny finesse baits. Little small soft plastics are a big player for me, especially around the spawn, and then sometimes really good in the summertime. But the little teeny tiny baits, even like the 4-inch magic worm, is just not gonna be as big of a player for me. In November, really starting in October and definitely getting going in November, I'm gonna go to a bulkier bait like a jig. Mini flip jig right here. Green pumpkins can do very well. Any kind of accent colors in November for some reason. This is black neon, has got that accent of chartreuse, you know, something like a Bama crawl, which has got that green pumpkin with that orange pop to it. Something with that accent color really, really plays in November. So don't throw the little teeny tiny finesse baits. I've not had as much luck in November. A lot more luck with the bigger, bulkier baits like a jig, especially this mini flip with the little mini D chunk on there. Caught a ton of fish in November. Half ounce is probably my go-to. If I get hung up too much, I'll go to the 3/8. I like that little heavier, faster fall. I feel like that triggers more fish, especially when you put that accent color on there. So bulky, not finessey, in my no throw November. Now I've got one more. Before we get into the last one, everybody likes to throw topwater in November. At least you should. So this is nothing new. This is nothing crazy. Buzz baits, big walking baits like the Spro walking hait, very good in November, good in October, very good in November. Don't let a little cold front stop you from throwing that topwater either. Just throw that out there. Do throw that. But the wacky worm, any bait that's rigged in the middle, I've not had great luck in November. Maybe I'm missing the boat. If I am, y'all tell me down there, because I've tried it and I just have not had a lot of luck. And I think it's tied into what we talked about at the very first part when we talked about not seeing the bluegill, not having those bluegill up shallow. The wacky worm, anytime bluegill are up shallow or the bass are spawning, wacky worm, deadly, amazing, fantastic, good, all the above. But what I am gonna tell you can be very good in November is a little Ned rig. Little Ned rig, because I feel like that they imitate a diamond fish and a crawfish, depending on the colors that you select. But you're gonna have a smaller, you know, an 1/8 ounce or less, 1/8 or 1/16 typically, and you're gonna be able to throw that on areas that don't have as much cover or grass lines. Grass lines are very good with that Ned rig. and you're just gonna work it really slow. Let that thing get into the grass or get down to the bottom, and then you're just gonna lift it up and let that bait kind of pendulum back to you. And that bait, when it pendulums, it has a real subtle kind of swimming action. No matter what kind of head you have, as long as you have like a TRD or a Ned bomb, something, that Ned bomb has that tail that really helps that bait drift. That is that little bit of finesse that helps the bait have that little subtle action that they eat. And that Ned rig will work throughout the winter as long as you can just get it in front of them. And whether it's the bait fish or the bluegill type, the crawfish type colors, just depends on your situation. Both work. I've had success with both in November, but no throw wacky worm November, but definitely throw the Ned rig. You could almost call it Ned rig November. But we could just go ahead and just drop it down there. If you like the Ned rig in November, just type in there in the comments, please for me one time, Ned rig November, because that is very much a good deal. So those are your 3 baits right there for you in your no throw November. And then we gave you some tips on what to throw in November. If anybody has any disputes or any baits they want to add in there, drop it down there. Appreciate everybody watching.